the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sunday night here as we bring you the NSRA Sunday Select Series presented by pad.org. I am your host for tonight. My name is KR Stolfus, and joining me in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth is none other than Travis Elliott. Travis, how you doing tonight?
You know, KR, I am doing absolutely fantastic. How are you tonight?
Man, I'll tell you what, I couldn't be better. I'm excited for what we are getting ready to see as drivers are getting ready for their qualifying session. A couple of them already making their way out onto the speedway. That is the 9 of J.R. Johnson as he begins rolling around for his lap time.
Yeah, I always love watching these guys go out and qualify because you can play little games here and there to try to gain a 10th, everywhere you can, because a 10th here is the difference between, being on pole and being P15.
I was talking to a few of the drivers right before we went live and trying to get some tips and tricks on qualifying, and there is an art to it. There is an exact science.
Yeah, I unfortunately have not mastered that science, but hopefully I can watch a little bit and see how it's done from these people who seem to always be on pole. And one of those people is JD Crow. He's starting his first time lap. I'm assuming he's going to be running the wall here, trying to get some speed up and burn off some fuel to start his actual second lap that will be the one that counts.
All right, so as drivers continue to make their way around, they will have 5 minutes in total in this qualifying session to work in their 2 laps. And based off of what we've seen so far this year, Travis, who do you think is going to be on pole?
I mean, JD Crow seems to always be up there. Shoot, where's the 88 Dana Osborne's normally up there. The 3 of Paul Servant. There's a lot of people who could be on pole tonight, KR.
Yeah, they're any one of these guys could end up on pole, but guys, it is going to be a great race. For whatever reason, I am not able to get my overlay to show, and it was showing in practice, and now it's decided to quit working. So I'm trying to work through that, Travis. So why don't you go ahead and keep talking about this qualifying session?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, JD Crow is going into turn 3 right now. We'll see where he comes out in a minute. Mark Mann looks like he is on his second lap because he is running the bottom, and currently, the person on pole is Jason Grahams with a 47.4, and it looks like he might be pulling off here. And there's JD Crow with a 47.4, 2.3. So we'll see how close Mark Mann is here when he comes across the line. Here coming out of 4, Mark Mann. He's gonna cut that tri-oval to try to get the best time. Not close enough. He's 100th of a second off of Paul Servant, who stole the pole from JD Crow. And looks like a couple guys are still out there running their first lap. Dan Holloway being one of them. He's a part of that Candy Shack Motorsports team. that is teammates with the 3 who is on pole. So ideally, the 21 will want to be as close as he can to his teammates, because last week at Talladega, we saw how strong they were controlling the lines and pretty much doing everything they can. And it came down to the last lap before somebody overtook them, really.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to step away for the national anthem. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to bring you tonight's starting lineup. So let's go ahead and get right into it for our NSRA Sunday Select Series on row number 1. That is going to be the 3 of Paul Servant, and on his outside, as everything goes haywire on me once again. Good night. All right, hold on. We're going to try and work through this. Let's see what's going on. This is crazy. Travis,
Would you like me to?
Yeah, if you got yours up, please go ahead and go through the starting lineup for us while I work on this, because this is wild.
So like KR said, starting on pole, the 3 of Paul Servant with a very great qualifying time. On his outside will be Mark Mann in the 04. Second row is going to be JD Crow. On his outside is Hunter Reynolds. In the third row, the 88 of Dana Osborne with his teammate, the 4 of Chris Akers. In row number 4, Jimmy Reynolds, the 25 car, starting on the inside, the 65 of Jason Graham's on his outside. Row number 5 is going to be Peter Bailey in the 603 with Dan Holloway on his outside. The 9 of J.R. Johnson and Sean Stevens makes up row number 6. 11 of Roy Grandy and the 9 of Michael Coe make up row 7. Donald Bennett, who is not on the track, said he was going to be in row number 8. I do not see him anywhere. But Les Levy is going to be starting on the outside in this number 62 car. The 44 of David Anderson, I can't seem to find him anywhere, but he is supposed to be starting in row number 9. Looks like they are starting from the pits. DJ Mitchell in the 61 going to be starting back in P17. The 343 is also starting from the pits. Jason Kinzer back in row 10. Danny Valenzuela, row number 11. Dan Harrington in P20. Steven Squirman Herman in 21. And Todd Posson bringing up the rear of the field. As they take the green flag, Oh, I was slow on that.
That's all right. Green flag comes out, and I think I finally got it working correctly. Is something's just a little bit off kilter here tonight. Hopefully, y'all are still with us. I see y'all checking in on YouTube as well. We got Mara cheering for her man, Mark Man, and Crazy Dan 21 out here as well.
Yeah, I think your computer just can't handle his excitement as Mark Man gets a huge push by the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, and he's going to drop down to that bottom line in front of Paul Servant. And, you know, as normal, that outside and Hunter is making a lot of energy for that outside line, and we'll see how they fare throughout this entire race. I think Mark Man is going to be somebody to watch here this race, KR. He's got a chip on his shoulder. We'll see where he fares out this by the conclusion of this race as he leads lap 1 of the race, KR.
So Mark Man picking up his first lap led here tonight with Paul Servant in the 3 on his outside. Logan checking in as well, and Logan wants to be my Facebook friend. And Logan, by all means, I could use more friends, so go ahead and send me that friend invite. But all that aside, Travis, we got some racing here to go. We got 80 laps of racing action here tonight, and if we need it, we also have 2 green-white checkers.
Yeah, those green-white checkers always love to throw wrenches into the end of the race, especially for fuel strategies. And you know, the outside line is doing pretty okay. Definitely not the amount of energy that they had at that first lap that allowed Mark Man to lead the lap, and he leads another lap here. They're kind of tailing off. I think Les Levy is kind of trying to pick a line, but after that, they're single file scattered behind him, and one of those cars is being DJ Mitzel. And you know, KR, we talked about him last week and the week before, and you know, he seems to just be having. He has all of the. Gets to the end of the race in the front, and then you know his luck just runs out, and hopefully he can turn it around this week. You know, when you have really hard and bad runs, it's really discouraging.
Speaking of hard luck, David Anderson in the 44 scheduled to start this one, but it looked like he had internet issues coming to this green flag start, so he is currently not out on the track. And of course, our last week's race winner, the 343 of Russ Hancock, he is out of this race for the moment as well. Both drivers were in this session at one point, but both drivers have missed the start of the race and finding themselves already behind the 8 ball as we are now coming around to complete lap number 4. Those 2 cars not out on the speedway are losing a whole bunch of time. Hopefully they can get their cars worked or their internet working, their cars out on track, and get back into this race.
Yeah, if they can get back in here, anything can happen. You know, even being 4 laps down, I've seen stranger things happen before, and you know, hopefully they can get back out on the track, especially the 343. You know, since you got that win last week, and you need 2 wins to get locked in, and points mean everything. So.
Yeah, points do mean everything, and right now the 3 of Paul Servant out in front of the 04 of Mark Man, but the 26, that's Hunter Reynolds leading the charge in the outside lane. He has Chris Akers in that Reese's number 4 machine tucked in tight right behind him. So this race is continuing to march on, and the battle at the front, never something that stays the same.
No, it's an ever-changing give and take, and eventually the give is gonna very much go away, and it's just gonna be take. So it's good to see that they're kind of just settling in here, not really pushing it 3 wide yet. And you know, 3 wide around here is a little bit more tricky, a little bit more narrow than Talladega, but you know, it's I think it's more fun just because of how tight you have to be when you're running 3 wide around here.
So Paul Servant in the 3 with a lead for the moment as Hunter Reynolds in the 26 is falling back just a little bit. That outside lane, you talked about it, not really showing a whole lot of energy. They can get to the nose of the 3, but then they fall back a little bit. So that outside lane, they're going to have to figure something out here. Otherwise, it's going to be a single file battle down on that yellow line.
Yeah, you can see the 4 is giving him a big shove. Mark Man got a little just even about a bumper distance away from the 3, and that was just enough to get Hunter in front of Paul there to drop down to that bottom line. And you know, the 3 has his teammate up top, so I'm wondering if he might jump up there. Or I think green flag stops are about lap 21 to 22 out.
18 to 20, somewhere in there. Yep.
Okay, so 18 to 20. So you know, they still got a ways. And like somebody was riding the aprons with the 17 trying to see the entry of the turn, what was going on, but that outside line just fell apart now. The 4 is trying to get in. That's a big checkup with the 17. The 04 and the 3 hop up. Markman jumps back down to the bottom, and the 4 is going to give a shot to the 3.
Yeah, big wiggle from Paul Servant as the 4 got to his back bumper. It is going to allow the 3 to clear the 26 as he drops down to that yellow line. Now Dana Osborne in the 88 slices up in front of his teammate, the 21 of Daniel Holloway. But Paul Servant, your race leader, and Paul does have 2 wins, locking himself into playoff contention. But he is the only driver this season who has picked up 2 wins. Everyone else has 1 win, as this is race number 7 out of 10. So Paul Servant feeling pretty comfortable, and that might bode ill will for the rest of the field if Paul Servant is out there just to win, because he might take a few more gambles than necessary, because he's not out there for points anymore.
Yeah, I remember talking to Paul a couple weeks ago after he got his I think his first win, and he said the plan was to get one of his teammates into victory lane as best as they can, and we saw how that worked out for him. But you know, I mean, if a win opportunity presents itself, I don't think he's one to shy away from it. He seems like he's a go-getter and wants to get into victory lane as much as he can.
That machine that you see down at the bottom of your screen, that was the 30 of Donald Bennett, who left from pit lane. He started this race from pit lane, and he is about ready to be swallowed up by this field. Good news for him, he will be the only car 1 lap down should we get a caution here. But green flag pit stops are just a handful of laps away, and that can throw a wrench in everything. As we have seen, this field really likes to spread out in a green flag stop.
Yeah, so many different pit strategies as they go 3 wide by the 30 car there, and but so many pit strategies can change how you come out. We saw a few weeks ago the 20 of Justin Levine and his teammate, who are not in this race, I don't think, but they were doing a completely different pit strategy, and it worked out for them well. So I'm wondering if you're going to see some people gamble a little bit here and there, as the 21 goes 3 wide on his teammate when he tucks back in. Oh, I was really excited there.
3 wide can happen at any time as we go on board with the 4 of Chris Akers as he works to the outside lane here. That is the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Mark Mann, the 04 down to the inside of Akers. Down this Daytona backstretch we go. That outside lane looking pretty content right now. Everyone trying to find somewhere to put their car, but for the moment, everyone chasing the 26.
Yeah, it's fun watching, because going down the back straight there, I saw on from up here on the spotter stand, I saw the 88 of Dana Osborne get a huge run and had to lift. So, and he drops to the bottom. I'm assuming he's going to try to get his teammates somewhere down here. But if you really want to try to guess where the run is coming, watching on the broadcast, don't necessarily look at the front 2 cars. Look at the 3rd or 4th car in line and kind of see what they're doing, because that'll kind of give it away. As the 65 is going to try to give a shot to the 4 of Chris Akers, but I don't think it's going to be for anything, because that outside line just fell apart. You got the 27 of Sean Stevens and the 011 of Jason Kinzer hopping into that top, making 4 cars with Les Levy about 7 cars back, and he's going to be kind of ineffective. He'll probably hop in line as they're side by side going into lap 14. Hunter Reynolds leading that lap, and it looks like everybody's starting to start to fall into that bottom line KR for pit stops, which we're close, but not very close. So I wonder if we'll see anybody try to stretch it out or pit early, maybe.
Now, Travis, you have a lot of experience out here on the super speedways. We've talked about your experience a whole lot. Les Levy in that 62, he has not got somebody on his front bumper. So if you're stuck in that outside lane by yourself, I've heard rumors that side drafting isn't really something that is here in iRacing as far as how we see in real life with NASCAR. But how about picking up a draft off of somebody's quarter panel when you're in that outside lane by yourself, maybe trying to tuck in behind them, not in that lane, but maybe just trying to get your left front just to their right rear?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. I literally just saw DJ Mitzel do it, but he has a car behind him, so it doesn't show as much. But side drafting in iRacing isn't necessarily like it is in real life, as you like when you saw tonight for the NASCAR race. It doesn't really, because side drafting doesn't speed you up. It more or less hinders the car that you are side drafting, because it creates more drag on the spoiler of the car you're side drafting, and it works to an extent. You have to get very tight on somebody to kind of do that. More so in iRacing, it's more about not letting the car on the bottom that is pushing, let's say the leader of the line. If you're on the outside, you want to pinch the bottom as much as you can, because it's going to make that inside line pusher overheat more, and you won't be able to air the car out. At least that's how it is in my experience that I see. But side drafting is it's important. It's in iRacing. It's not a crazy mystical force that people can manipulate in here like they can in real life, and it does make for exciting racing when they get really close, and you might see it throughout the race. I'll try to find it when I can, but yeah, that's enough for me rambling, KR.
All right, we're coming up on a green flag pit stops as we are working lap 17 of 80. A lot of cars have dropped down to that inside lane. That outside lane has fallen way back. So here we go. We might see a few drivers hit pit road, and here it is. Hunter Reynolds on the pit lane, but Chris Akers going to stay out in the 4 as we have several drivers making their first pit stops of the night. That is Hunter Reynolds, Mark Mann, Jimmy Reynolds, Les Levy, Peter Bailey, Roy Grandy, Danny Venezuela, and Donald Bennett all on pit road. Now, when will we see the 4, the 88, the 21, and the 3? Is Candy Shack Motorsports running 1, 2, 3, and 4 right now? They're going to hit pit road as a team here, and that's going to be some benefit to those guys. But, Mark Mann, Jimmy Reynolds, Hunter Reynolds, all those guys teammates as well. Who's going to be the one that wins this green flag pit stop exchange? Well, let's find out.
Well, as the rest of the field comes down pit road, and we have contact between JD Crow and DJ Mitzel. It's something that we saw a couple weeks ago, KR. The getting into pit road in big groups was it was tricky for these large groups of drivers who can't really communicate where they need to go. As DJ Mitzel slides through his box, and so does the 82 of Dan Harrington. That's gonna hinder them from getting back out with the pack. Pretty good stop though still, so they might be able to salvage it. But here comes Hunter and Mark Mann coming to the tri-oval now, and all of the Candy Shack guys are just now going into turn 2, and they're not going to have any kind of speed whatsoever. And I think Hunter and Mark are just going to pull away, and we'll see if they catch back up, as Jimmy Reynolds in the 25 is about 3 car lengths back. And KR, they have a huge head of steam, and they're just going to roll on past Candy Shack Motorsports.
That they do. Hunter Reynolds takes over the race lead as he has the 04 of Mark Mann pushing hard on him. Jimmy Reynolds in the 25. They go 1, 2, and 3 as Candy Shack Motorsports now is going to have to try and catch up to him. But once again, we see this green flag pit stop cycle has really spread this field out as we are now on lap 20 of 80. So the first round of pit stops done and over with, as everyone trying to find their little place in this Daytona super speedway track.
Yeah, and I have no doubt that that the Candy Shack group is going to catch up with this 3 cars just because they have the sheer numbers. As the 4 is just shoving the 3 of Paul Servant, trying to get ever so closer to Jimmy Reynolds' bumper, and they're closing in pretty quick. And KR, we're going to see at least 2 more pit stops by my quick math skills. You know, we're going to probably see the last pit stop come somewhere around lap 60. I would say that's a pretty solid guess.
Yeah, right around lap 60. If you try and work this race backwards, the fuel window gonna open up with about 20 laps to go, as the 3 of Paul Servant gonna make a move to the outside of Reynolds. Mark Mann now gets caught napping, and Hunter Reynolds, these guys don't have much to fight with, as that outside lane has all the momentum now.
Yeah, the Candy Shack guys were literally bumper to bumper. Each car was pushing one another, and that's not an easy thing to do, and it's really paying off for them as they have a second group forming behind them with Squirm and Herman leading the way. And, you know, they're closing fairly okay. They need to get all on a single file line and push as hard as they can to catch back up, but we'll see where they are by the time the next green flag pit stops come around, as the 011 is just on the outside, kind of hindering people from making that run forward.
Yeah,
But
Jason Kinzer stuck in that outside lane of this second group. But we look back at our front group, JD Crow in the 17 machine. He had contact with DJ Mitzel on pit lane entry, but it looks like that 17 able to recover from that. He's tucked in tight behind the 31 of Todd Poston, and those two drivers there, they're ones to keep an eye on, because they could at any point during this season pick up a race win.
yeah, we saw last week the 31 of Todd Poston pushed his teammate to a win with an excellent move, going 3 wide on the outside, and just shows that he's a capable pusher, and he's not afraid to run the wall, and that's what you got to do to win a super speedway race. And Care, that backpack is not gaining any time, even with them running side by side up here.
No, they're not. And one driver who is not looking too good right now, that is the 301 of Danny Valenzuela.
Valenzuela?
You know what? I talk to Danny all the time.
Let's call him Danny.
His nickname is the Mexican. That 04 machine has lost the draft. He is all by himself. So it is only a
big
matter
junk
of time.
in turn 2. Looks like Chris Akers blew a motor. Jimmy Reynolds took a flight there.
So yellow flag coming out.
Yeah, it looks like the 4 dropped the motor in the worst place possible and collected about 3 cars with him. One of them being his teammate.
So the 25 of Jimmy Reynolds going airborne on this one as we take another look at it. Dana Osborne getting a big chunk of that.
Didn't we see the 4 blow his engine last week too?
We did.
That Candy Shack team might need to get a new engine guy. Looks like Jimmy Reynolds is going to be able to get back around and not have to tow. Looks like he's going to stay on the lead lap without being last car on the lead lap. And it looks like the 4 of Chris Akers is slowly nursing his car back to pit road. Last week we saw him go 2 laps down multiple times, and you know, he did pretty good. Made it to the end of the race. But man, that's a 2 weeks in a row to blow your engine and, you know, collect your teammate.
Well, I'll tell you, Chris Akers pushing hard there, trying to be a good team player. This time it's going to jump up and bite him in the butt once again. But Yellow flag out. Looks like everyone gonna come down pit road this time. So with that said, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back to bring you this starting lineup.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to go green flag racing once again inside row number 1. That is the 3 of Paul Servant. On his outside will be the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Then it's Mark Mann in the 04 machine and Dana Osborne in the 88. And then on the inside of row number 3, Jason Kinzer on his outside will be the 17 of JD Crow as we get ready to go green flag once again as we wrap our first caution up. And the 3 of Paul Servant getting a good jump on this restart. He has Mark Mann in that 04 pushing hard on his back bumper. Jason Kinzer right there as well. So too is the 11 of Roy Grandy. That inside lane really showing some strength here as that outside lane kind of falling apart.
Yeah, everybody kind of abandoned Hunter there, and you know, you kind of have to do that sometimes when the run's good. And you can see the 011 of Jason Kinzer is going to hop up there with Hunter behind him, and you know, they're going to have some work to do to catch back up. And just want to give an update on the 4, by the way. He's now 1 lap down, so he got lapped when he got back around, but we saw him come back from worse as the 88 of Daniel Osborne jumps up in front of Jason Kinzer. Maybe we'll see this outside get some more momentum up and go to the front. I'm sure he would love to be in front of his teammate of Paul Servant. And you know, KR, this is a long race, and the big wiggle by the 17, sorry. 62 of Les Levy hopping up to the top in front of the 88. Les wants to go to the front. You know, Les with the Ricky Bobby Foundation. He's a good solid driver, and I know him quite well, and it'd be nice to see him get a win too, KR.
Now, that Ricky Bobby Foundation for people challenged to go really fast, it has helped me pick up a few wins here and there. It has improved my racing, and let me tell you, if you put that 62 of Les Levy out in front of this field, everyone better be on notice, because Les is a bear once he gets out in front.
Yeah, he's pretty easy to push. As you can see, the 88 is just shoving him on up front alongside the 11 here, and I'm sure at some point the 88 is going to get Les up in front of the 3. I would assume so. You know, Hunter Reynolds, who started on the front row, is the fourth row back on the outside, and just not doing too good right now. I wonder if he's just getting comfortable, expecting to see anything, if anything's going to happen. And you can see, as I said, not even half a lap ago, Les Levy is side by side with a 3. I'm wondering if he's going to get a lap led this next time by KR.
Yeah, Les using that outside lane, trying to work his magic and lead a lap. But that 88 of Dana Osborne pushing hard on him. We already saw one Candy Shack Motorsports engine go up in smoke, but when we see another one with this 88, maybe he's trying to pop out a little bit here, get some air to that nose as we hit that front stretch one more time. Paul Servant, oh, contact, Hunter Reynolds goes around, Pondo co-involved. Big stack up at the field as everyone goes for a spin. Big time trouble coming into the tri-oval. Let's take another look at this one.
It looks like Hunter was trying to take it through the middle. And had a little bit of assistance with some net code there. At least that's what it seems to me.
So a big stack up into the tri-oval is going to damage quite a few cars as we go back to, well, pacing behind the pace car. Right now, the 62 of Les Levy was out in front. He was waiting for the pace car. Could he have been our race leader? No, as the 3 of Paul Servant is going to shoot on by. So Paul Servant going to take over the top spot. Les Levy in second. Mark Mann finding himself third. Dana Osborne fourth. And rounding out your top 5 will be the 011 of Jason Kinzer. We are going to see these guys hit pit lane once again. They come down pit road. The 3 of Paul Servant going to lead everyone here.
Yeah, another car that was involved in that wreck was Jimmy Reynolds, who we saw take a quick little trip outside to the airport in that earlier wreck, not even a few laps ago, and you know, he was collected in this one again. You know, you hate to see that for him, but you know who loved to see that caution there, KR, was the 4 of Chris Akers.
Yeah, he's going to be ecstatic about that, getting a lap back. Under the first yellow we had, Donald Bennett got his lap back. And we might see all 22 cars on the lead lap this time.
Yeah, I love seeing as many cars as possible on the lead lap, just because that is 22 drivers who have every opportunity to win a race. It's your best and also your worst chance.
Right now, the 82 of Dan Harrington scored as the race leader, but I do not believe he hit his pit stall. I think he missed his stall. He came down pit road, but just drove right on through. So the 82 scored as the leader. Paul Servant winning the race off of pit road. Of the drivers who made a pit stop, and it's Mark Mann, Jason Kinzer, and Dana Osborne. A little bit of a mix-up for the 82. We'll see if he's going to either stay out or come down pit lane this time. But yeah, another wild Sunday night race.
Yeah, we're not even 35 laps in, not even halfway, and we got two monstrous wrecks. And I wouldn't expect anything less coming around Daytona, especially a night race at Daytona. Something about it makes gives you a little bit more adrenaline. I think it's the lights or something, but yeah, you see the 82 hit pit road, the 61 of DJ Mitzel following closely behind there. And I'm trying to see if anybody else is hitting pit road. Looks like Steven Herman is gonna get on down to pit road. And I think that is all. Todd Poston. Looks like the 61 and the 31 are trying to kind of do the same thing. We saw them last week work really well up to the front during the later stages of the race. So those are two guys to keep your eye on again. It looks like Jimmy Reynolds got his car all nice and fixed up. I believe he had to burn both of his faster pairs within 10 laps, and that's not something that you like to do as a driver.
No, and I do want to point out that the 4 of Chris Akers did not receive the free pass.
Oh, he did not.
He is still 1 lap down.
I'm wondering if it's because sometimes iRacing can be, because I'm pretty sure I saw him slow down and almost stop on the track, and sometimes iRacing will recognize that as you being involved in the caution.
Yeah, very, very difficult to get that free pass here on a super speedway, because even if that yellow flag comes out while you are in the middle of being bump drafted, it counts you as involved in the accident.
Yep, any touch, any loss of control, if you go off track and hit the grass trying to avoid it, it does not matter. They will not recognize you as being clean through the wreck.
So here we go. Lights out on the pace car. It makes the left-hand turn for pit lane. Paul Servant, Mark Mann grab themselves some accelerator pedal, and away we go once again. We work lap number 35 of 80, just 5 laps away from the halfway point. Our second caution of the night concluded, and we get back to the action here at Daytona as this NSRA Sunday Select Series presented by pad.org continues to roll on through the night.
Yeah, you saw the 88 kind of make a little move and got left out to dry there. And Les Levy making his push. He wants to get up to the front here. He's probably going to hop up in front of the 88, maybe with the 011.
And as you call it, they do.
I like to think I know what I'm talking about sometimes, Care. But oh, big junk in the back.
Stephen Herman, Hunter Reynolds go around, and the 711 machine tore up once again. Hunter Reynolds in this one as well. Let's see if we can get another look at this one.
Hunter was giving him some pushes in the turn. Kind of pushed him in the wrong spot and kind of turned him a little bit. Yeah, it's just a bad bump gone wrong.
Tough break here for these two drivers at the back of the field, but the yellow flag coming out once again. Our third caution of the night. Hunter Reynolds in the 26 torn up. Man, that's a tough break for the 26.
Yeah, it's also a tough break for the 711, and it's never fun when you're just kind of almost an innocent bystander in your own accident, really, because it was just a bad bump by Hunter on the wrong spot on his on the bumper, and you just sent him around and collected them both. Now they're both gonna have to use another fast repair here, and those fast repairs are on a track like Daytona. Those things are worth every bit in gold. And I believe the 4 of Chris Akers is now going to get the lucky dog as he drives on past the pace car.
So Akers in the 4 getting his lap back. Good news for him. He'll be ecstatic about that. So a popped engine for the 4 now sees him back on the lead lap with still quite a few laps to go before he has to worry about that checkered flag.
I'm gonna correct both of us from earlier. I'm pretty sure the person who popped the engine last week was the 88. Now that my mind, it was still a Caddyshack car, but pretty sure it was the 88 actually, not the 4. Can't be fake news around here, KR.
No fake news.
And it looks like the 17 of JD Crow, did he stay out? Did the 9, 17, and the 82 all stay out?
Looks like they did. Our top 3 have all elected to stay out. That is the 9 of Pondo Co, the 17 of JD Crow, and the 82 of Dan Harrington, all staying out here.
I wonder if that's by choice, or if they, you know, miss their box, or they want to come back down and, you know, get the most fuel as possible.
Well,
I guess we'll see here this time by.
But Pondo Co and JD Crow from the MAGA stable, and then the 82 of Dan Harrington representing Alliance Motorsports here tonight, and they do stay out. The lights go out on the pace car. Now, granted, they only made about a lap more under green flag than everyone else, so their fuel tanks will be a little bit lighter, but taking a little bit of a gamble here to gain some track position.
Yeah, and maybe they're all 3 of them, you know, even though 2 of them are teammates and 1 is not. When you see 2 cautions like that are fairly close to one another, sometimes the best time is just to, you know, get up as far ahead of that wreck as you can. And I don't think we're gonna see any shortages of wrecks tonight with how aggressive some people are being, and you know, with how hard people are pushing. We've already seen a blown engine, a bad push, you know, a checkup coming out of 2 that, you know, I mean, we're not done wrecking. That's what I'm trying to say, KR.
Expensive night for this NSRA Sunday Select Series is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, no doubt. The thing that always comes to mind whenever I race super speedways, especially with a friend of mine, Aspen Belvin, sometimes he'll play the Tony Stewart rant when they were at Talladega that one year. It kind of just sets the mood right, you know.
The Co and the fabulous Hudson Hornet going to restart on the inside of row number 1. On his outside will be his teammate JD Crow. Here we go, looking out the back of the 9 machine for this restart. Green flag is out. We are back underway as the rest of the field gets through the gearbox cleanly. Everyone exiting the trial will now setting their sights for turn number 1. We go side by side through turn number 1.
Yeah, KR, I noticed as they're getting very wiggly up there in that top 3, but I noticed that the 17 has a little bit of front end damage. I know that was probably from that contact that he had on pit road, so he has not taken his optional, I don't think, or he did, and it's just not fixing it all that well. I wonder if that's going to affect that. Ooh. Oh, big wreck going into 3.
Heavy contact from the front of the field. Several cars involved in this one. That 17 machine of JD Crow looked like he just got a bad shove from the 3 of Paul Servant. Let's take another look at this one here.
Actually, it looks like to me, the 82 came up and kind of gave a little nudge to that 17. That was the cause of that wreck.
So a lot of cars getting torn up here before we even get to the halfway mark, or right at the halfway mark. Rough night of racing for sure.
Yep, you know, they always say cautions breed cautions, and you know, you miscalculate something by an inch, and you know, you got 10 cars that need that need damage fixed now.
So fast repairs getting used, everyone getting abused. And with that being said, guys, we're going to take a quick break. No one go anywhere, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. The lights have gone out on the pace car, and the 3 of Paul Servant on the inside of row number 1, and on his outside, that is the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, who Hunter had to burn a fast repair. He was involved in a caution just a few laps ago, and Travis, here he is back to the front.
Yeah, Hunter's a strong driver, but you know, that 7-Eleven's behind him, and who he gave that bad bump to. So hopefully there's not any kind of you know, retaliation here. I don't know how well these guys get along here. I couldn't hear anything over the radios about Hunter apologizing, but you know, we'll see, I guess, here soon, really, KR, as the pace car pulls off the track, as you would say, the Ford butt stain. Green flag is out. Only 5 cars start on the outside line, so that inside line has the numbers advantage, but sometimes that does not matter, as the 3 gets a excellent start with Jason Kinzer behind him. And, you know, with only 5 cars on the outside, you have to wonder if Hunter's going to try to fill that gap. He does not. The 88 is getting a massive run. Kind of going to run Hunter up the track a little bit. Probably going to get clear here. And he's going to hop up to the front. Up to the front of that top line. They're going to stack up behind them. And carry the 88 in. Paul Servant, you know, leading the 2 lines. And the outside line's starting to fall apart. Everybody's going to try to hop in the bottom lane, or They need to get something working if they want to get that momentum working out. But Paul Servan's going to lead lap number 44. And, you know, KR, we're past halfway. We've seen 2 massive wrecks. Well, really 3, I guess, in very quick succession. Do you think that's starting to weigh down on some of these drivers' minds here as they're burning through fast repairs every few laps?
Yeah, you got to watch yourself here, as it's been a rough little patch, and you got to start thinking, you know, maybe change your mindset a little bit. That being said, the 88 Dana Osborne, he's still up there trying to get after it. He is 2 laps down right now, and he is running in 22nd place, but and he'd love to get back in front of the 3 here and see another caution. That would give him 1 of his laps back. JD Crow and Pondo Co themselves are also 1 lap down. We have 19 cars on this lead lap. Everyone who started this race is still out there, but you know, we've talked about it quite a bit. The fast repairs being a little bit light right now. We are past the halfway point. We'll see how this really affects the rest of the race with some of these drivers knowing that they don't have anything to fall back on anymore.
Yeah, especially looking at the pit stop times. It looks like JD Crow was in the pits fixing damage for 2 minutes and 11 seconds. So I'm pretty sure he was fixing damage, and you know, the 9 had to tow, and you know, it's never a fun thing. Hopefully they can get something together and get back on the lead lap here, as the outside line is pretty much non-existent. It is just the 9 of JR Johnson, followed by the 88 of Dana Osborne. And after that, there is no real outside line at all. It's, you know, about a 1.5 seconds back before you get to Mark Mann, who just hopped to the bottom with Jimmy Reynolds out there. But you know, they're racing pretty tight back here for P12. They are, you know, got people racing to get their laps back with the 9 of Michael Coe and company, and they're really just trying to make it through the next wreck whenever that is. And you never know when that's going to happen, KR, as we saw last restart here.
So Mark Mann in the 04 being pushed by the 82 of Dan Harrington. The second group of drivers could close in on our first pack. They're well within what I'd say is drafting range. They just got to stay single file, and everyone's got to push pretty hard here, and they can close in and make this a large pack here for the front.
Yeah, it's just going to add to the inside line unless they want to get a little playful and try to get track position going to that outside line. And you know, I'm watching Les Levy getting shoved around by Hunter Reynolds right now. Hunter is one of the more experienced pushers in my book. I have a lot of experience running with Hunter, and he's a very excellent pusher. He's a good teammate to have, especially when you have Les Levy in front of you, a guy that you can just shove around the track wherever you want to go. And right now they're starting to build up a little bit of a run. I'm watching Hunter kind of try to time it. I wonder if there's some team chatting going on, trying to figure out if they get the run, if they're going to go out, as the 11 is up with that behind the 88 of Dana Osborne. Still, nobody wants to hop in that outside line. Looks like everybody's being content running the bottom, especially after all the wrecks that we saw in the past few laps. And that group being led by Mark Mann is pretty much there. That's there in my book. They're about, what is that, about 0.6 off, I would say.
Yeah, they're closing in for sure. But the battle for the race lead now is between the 3 of Paul Servant and the 9 of J.R. Johnson. JR on that outside lane. He has the race lead down the backstretch, but he is going to lose a little bit going into the corner here, as Dana Osborne in that 88 machine trying to push hard on the back bumper of the 9.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of separation between the 3 and the 0-11, and that allowed J.R. Johnson and Dana to get a huge run alongside their door there. And, you know, KR, we got the 4 of Chris Akers being pushed by the 9 of Michael Coe back there, and they are on that outside line with the 21 of Dane Harrington behind them. And, you know, they're closing pretty fast with this pack here being led by Mark Mann, they have passed them. They're passing Mark Mann right this second. And, you know, the 9's not really giving any cares to the win. He's going to hop back down, and looks like they're just going to ride around behind the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, as it looks like we lost a car on the outside line, but I do not know which car it was. Was it the 011? Oh, it actually looks like Dana Osborne pushed the 9 clear of Paul Servant here. So Dana Osborne doing some work on the back bumper of that 9 there. And they're going to get a massive run coming out of turn 2. I'm wondering if Dana's going to hop down in front of the 9 if he gets clear, and that's just going to go back to the situation of having 2 cars clear, and he clears the 9. Going to get a bad bump, big checkup as they're spreading out. You can see the accordion effect go through the field all the way back to the 31 of Todd Poston. I saw him checking up. And, you know, KR, when you make moves like that, something that you do in the front can really be felt, especially mid-pack.
Yeah, that accordion effect, the further the pack you are, the more intense it is, and it can really ruin your night. But Dana Osborne in the 88, finding himself now 1 lap down as he is leading this pack of drivers. Your race leader is J.R. Johnson. Roy Grandy in the outside lane trying to make some noise there as well. But J.R. Johnson pushing hard on the 88, trying to stay out in front of the 11.
Yep, and there's the 4 creeping his way up on that outside line behind the 30 of, that is Donald Bennett, who was 1 lap down earlier. And, you know, the 4 was 1 lap down, and they're back on the lead lap, ready to race. And I don't think this outside line is going to have anything for it. And they're going to go 3 wide. They're going to split the 11, the 011 and the 30. The 11's in the wall, a little scrape. It doesn't look like anything too bad. They got that sorted out, but that outside line is non-existent now, KR.
Yeah, everyone's scrambling, trying to find somewhere to squeeze in. And it looks like we're going to settle that one down as that inside lane running single file. Right now, the driver in 5th place, that's the Salty Zombies driver, the 31 of Todd Poston. He's found himself here in the top 5. Peter Bailey right in front of him in the 603 machine. Talked to Peter a little bit before the race, and man, he's just excited to show up week in and week out and looking for a good finish, as we got the 21 of Holloway, the 21 of Holloway down on the apron, but everyone scrambles to make it through when we stay green. But the back of this field now really has fallen apart, and everyone's going to have to try and bunch up as quick as possible here.
Yeah, that was great awareness. He got a bad bump from, I believe that's Jason Graham's, and the awareness of the 27 of Sean Stevens to see Dan and give him enough room and check up for him. You know, that's a great heads up move by the 27 there to avoid another caution here. But like you said, KR, that they're gonna have to do a lot of work, and one of those drivers back there that got caught up in that checkup was Mark Mann. And it was also Hunter Reynolds, it looks like. So they got some work to do. They're not completely out of it, but they really got to hunker down and start pushing, especially with this lead pack being 2x2 now, with the 9 trying to drop down in front of the 88 of Dana Osborne. And that inside line is just going to get a massive run. Huge shove coming here by the 3 of Paul Servant. And it might even get himself clear of that outside line. The KR, they're racing hard. You know, we don't think that we're very far, but we're coming to the final green flag stop here within about 6 laps, really, being the pit window, and we're going to see this field stretch out even more, and it's just going to get even more intense coming to the close of this race. You know, getting within 20 to go.
A lot of drivers last on pit road on lap 40. We have 25 laps to go in this one, and you mentioned it, that fuel window going to open up here in about 6 to 7 laps, and then that will be enough fuel to make it to the end of the scheduled distance. And now it comes down to, when do you hit pit lane once that fuel window opens up? Paul Servant in the 3, your race leader. J.R. Johnson battling with Squirmin' Herman. for second spot. Herman down on that inside lane, trying to keep that 3 just off his nose, but falling back a little bit here as he now tries to close the gap. The 9 of Pondo Co on the outside lane of Steven Herman. Here comes Jason Kinzer to get to the back bumper of the 9 as that 3 car outside lane gets a good run into turn number 3.
Yeah, really watch the third car on the line on these 2-3 car these guys through that are 2 by 2 3 rows back. The third car really kind of dictates how well of a run is sustained, because you know the second car is shoving so hard and doing everything they can to keep the car in front of them, but a lot of the momentum can come from that third car. As you can see, you know, Squirman Herman's doing a great job in keeping the 3 as close as he can. He's kind of dropped off back here, but that outside line also dropped off even more. So you'll see I believe that is Jason Kinzer on the outside there. We'll see if he can recover this outside line, but it looks like they're going to spread out. The 9's going to hop down in the line, and he is, I believe, the first car 1 lap down, so he is in the lucky dog spot, and he's up here mixing it up with the leaders, KR.
He is, but Jimmy Reynolds in the 25. Oh, as we got hard contact, Squirman Herman is going to go around and collect several other drivers as we go back under yellow with a hard hit by the 7-Eleven machine. Let's take another look at this one.
Looks like the 7-Eleven, Squirman Herman, and the 9 got together. Looks like Steven Herman tried to clear himself, maybe, or just his spotter just didn't relay to him that, you know, he was not clear. At least that's what it looks like from the spotter stand up here, but might try to get a better shot of that, KR.
Several cars getting torn up once again as we check this all out on the replay. And another yellow flag, another caution here at Daytona. A few more fast repairs are going to have to go by the wayside. That caution doing well for Jimmy Reynolds as he was about to go a lap down. Pondo Co, he was able to get through that one without any incident. Let's see if we can actually check and see how the 9 got through. And Pondo Co looks like maybe he escaped that one without any contact, so he might be able to get that free pass.
Yeah, I watched him because I was very curious to see if he made it through, and it looks like he got extremely lucky, and you know, a lot of people behind him heads up and didn't, you know, give him the ARCA brakes, and you know, he looked like he was running pretty well up there with the leaders, and seems to be a pretty strong car. I'd love to see how he does throughout the race. I don't know what is going on behind him right now. Big old stack up of cars behind him, but your leader, Paul Servant, I'm assuming he's going to come down pit road, followed by everybody in the pack, obviously, and because you know, KR, we are pretty much at pit window here. And it looks like the 9 is going past the pace car.
Good news for Pondo Co. He does get his lap back as a 3. The Paul Servant hits pit lane. Everyone else following suit, and we will see these guys hit pit road here for a bit of a stretch to make it to the end. Man, that's right on the limit is this pit stop.
Yeah, I would, if I was the, you know, in the car, and if I had teammates with me, I'd really, you're really thinking about, you're taking your mental notes that you learned throughout the race and really seeing how far you could go. Because, you know, if you're following closely behind a car, you can save a little bit more fuel because you don't have to be on the throttle as much. Especially with some of these teams, you know, they have 4, 5, 6 drivers in a channel together, talking to one another, communicating with one another, and you know, the more cars you can have save fuel, KR, is better fuel mileage, and you know, they might even try to come down with 1 to go and get a splash in the tank, but you definitely can't make it for a green white checkered, let alone 2. And how they're racing tonight, I wouldn't be surprised to see at least one.
Full moon here at Daytona is all I can say. Couple weird
Sure, it's not like a super full moon.
That's all right. That is all part of super speedway racing. But the yellow flag is out. We do have 20 laps to go. We're going to take the green flag with 18 laps left. Paul Servant faking for pit road, but DJ Mitzel, Todd Poston, teammates from 3 Wide Motorsports, they're going to hit pit road. They're going to top off their tanks, and that is probably going to be the last time we'll see that team on pit lane. Several other drivers joining them: Jason Kinzer, Jason Graves, Sean Stevens, Danny Valenzuela, Dan Harrington, Mark Mann, all hitting pit road this time as well. So now it comes down to how the rest of this race is going to play out.
Yeah, all the guys that pitted with 1 to green, you know, if they get a caution, they probably can 100% at least do 1 green white checkered. But the guys running that stayed out, you know, the 3 and the 4 and the 62, they got a couple more laps. You know, 1 lap can mean a lot, but you know, you're under pacing right now, and we see Jimmy Reynolds might have taken an EOL because he is damaged to let these guys race it out. But we got 2 Candy Shack guys. We got the 4 of Chris Akers and the 3 of Paul Servant with Les Levy and Roy Grandy behind him, and someone who's been hunting the past couple weeks and has been in a winning position, the 21 of Dan Holloway, starting on the outside behind Les Levy with Hunter Reynolds behind him, and the 30 of Donald Bennett, who was 1 lap down earlier, and you know, he's back on the lead lap. KR, do you want to do the green flag, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, I'll take her away, as the 3 of Paul Servant, the 4 of Chris Akers are going to lock out the front row here as the pace car is down and away. The green flag unfurls once again as we get back into racing mode. Teammates on the front row, but Les Levy, Roy Grandy right there, teammates for row number 2 as well. So here we go, the battle of the teammates starting to shape up as we have 18 laps left in this one. How is this going to play out as that outside lane falls back just a little bit? Chris Akers in the 4 down on that yellow line, trying to win his first one of the season. Will we see the 3 of Paul Servant, knowing that he's locked into the playoffs, try and help the 4 of Akers pick up his first win?
Yeah, he definitely seems to be a team guy, but you know, the opportunity is there. He's not gonna just lay down and let it go. But he's got Les Levy behind him. Got the 21 of Dan Herring, as they got a little, it looked like Les maybe had to check up and wanted to move out of the way, and they almost went 3 wide on the 3, and Les almost got turned there. But you know, that outside line's kind of falling apart, but they got plenty of time to get more momentum set up. And KR, you know, it's always the question of not if, but when. These guys, we haven't really seen a lot of 3 wide action, and you know, I'm wondering who's gonna be the one to break that, especially coming to the closing laps of this race. I believe we're coming to 16 to go this time by, and you know, we're about to start getting a little more racy, even though we've been racy all night. And the outside line, you know, they're kind of doing a little accordion. You got Hunter following the 21 with, I believe that is the 603 of is that
Peter
Danny?
Bailey. 603 is Peter Bailey.
Ah.
So here we go. Chris Akers in the 4. Now has the 11 of Roy Grandy jumping up to the outside lane. Paul Servant going to get to the back bumper of the 11. Here comes the 21 of Daniel Holloway with the 26 of Hunter Reynolds on his outside. And we do have 3 wide action. Contact once again. But a lot of cars go spinning off the racing line. We stay green.
Oh,
And even
lot of
more are
cars.
crashing. The green flag stays out. Chris Akers, Roy Grandy continue to cycle around. And now we have a 6-car breakaway here. But a lot of cars getting involved in this one. Let's take a look at that. The 31 of Todd Poston down through the grass. He's going to come up and hip check the 26 of Hunter Reynolds.
Just as soon as everybody starts to get racy, KR. As you said, big junk on the front straight, but you know, we got a 6-car breakaway with 2 of them being Candy Shack Motorsports guys. Or no. Yeah, that is not the case anymore. The 4 Chris Akers is a lone driver for Candy Shack Motorsports, with the 11 of Roy Grandy doing everything he can to make sure that you know, he comes out and does everything in his power to not let the 4 get a win.
So Chris Akers, Roy Grandy, Donald Bennett, Les Levy, Peter Bailey, and Dan Harrington, your 6-car breakaway. And then Jason Grames in the 65 all by himself, as the 04 of Mark Mann closing in quickly on him. Then it's Jason Kinzer and Danny Valenzuela in the 04 machine, rounding out your top 10. And that 04 was involved in a crash earlier. If he can finish this in a top 10 spot, he would be ecstatic about that. And then Dana Osborne in the 88, the first car 1 lap down now. He was 2 laps down not too long ago, finding himself in the lucky dog position.
Oh, so many good cars. So many front runners were taken out in there, but you know, we're coming here to 12 to go this time by, and you got a 6-car breakaway being led by the 4 Chris Akers, the leader, and then you got about 4 cars with a +2 eventually being led by Mark Mann. And you know, coming down to the closing of this race, they're about 2 seconds back. Mark Mann is about 2 seconds back from the leader, or from the guys in front of him. So we'll see if they catch back up here. I'm assuming they will, just because of the cars that are with them pushing, but they got a long way to go. And we got a lead change up front. The 62 pushing the 11 to the outside of the 4, being followed by the 82. And they have the number advantage as they're coming up on some lap cars. I believe that is DJ Mitzel about to go another lap down. And KR, that just allowed Mark Mann and Jason Kinzer in that group to catch right back up, and they are ready to race coming here to the winding down of this race, KR.
Yeah, it's now no longer a 6-car pack. It is a large group once again. But here we go with 11 laps to go in this one. Couple cars to mention. Hunter Reynolds in the 26. He is on pit road being serviced by his crew. It looks like maybe his night is done. Regardless, he's going to have to watch this race win slip through his fingers, because there's not enough time to get his laps back. The first car 1 lap down continues to be the 88 of Dana Osborne. He's in 17th spot right now, but he is trying to work his way forward still. And the 4 of Chris Akers, your race leader. And then sitting in second place is Donald Bennett in the Turn 3 Racing Network car, that 30 machine, trying to do us proud here tonight.
Yeah, we saw him fight back from a lap down and have him, you know, challenging for a race wins. Pretty resilient driver there, as we have a big wiggle between the 88 and the 82. Just pushing really hard and got the 82 a little bit loose, but they recovered. And the 88's going to leave the 82 out the dry on the outside line by himself, KR. But, you know, we have 2 cars coming up. I believe that is DJ Mitzel shoving somebody in front of him who I don't know who
That's
it is.
That's the 04 of Danny Valenzuela.
Ah, old Danny. They have a huge head of steam there. They're probably going to go right around the 82. Yep, I see the 04 go to the wall. He tucks back in, but, you know, we're within 10 to go, KR. I think at this point it's anything goes. As you can see, the 88 of Dana Osborne probably doing everything he can to get up to the 4 to try to secure him a win, or be, you know, in front of him if something happens, if the caution comes out and he jumps in front of that top line, he's gonna fall back in line. I thought they were gonna split him, being a lap car, but they got a nice little lead. The 4 and the 30 do on this pack right here, about a car length at point, and we got Les Levy still in the mix, Mark Mann still in the mix. The 11's getting a massive run on the outside, being pushed by the 82 of Dan Harrington. They're doing a great job. They're going to get side by side here, probably coming into turn 3. The outside line starting to form. You have Danny Valenzuela. Valenzuela, yeah, coming to the outside. DJ Mitzel behind him, who's 2 laps down, but you know, a car's a car and a pusher's a pusher, KR. I don't really care who you are or how many laps down you are. As we see him go out, we see Danny go outside, but nobody went with him. And I would not be surprised if I saw that 04 go to that outside, KR.
So Chris Akers in the 4, your race leader. We got 7 laps to go here in this one. Keep in mind, we will use 2 attempts at a green-white checkered if we need it. And man, I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna hold my breath to try and see this thing finish without a caution flag coming out. But man, these drivers all getting up on the wheel. They know that this regular season is getting closer to the end, and everybody is trying to lock themselves in with a win. And here comes the 11 of Roy Grandy. If he can pick up a win, how about that storyline?
Yeah, they'd be taking away another one from the Candy Shack guys. But, you know, talking about having to get 2 wins and points meaning everything, everybody that started this race is still on track getting points. So, you know, everybody playing the points game, and if you can't get a win, you can do everything in your power to point your way in. And KR, we see the outside line starting to kind of dwindle away. I wonder if the 82 is trying to air out his car. But that inside line, Donald Bennett is kind of snaking around, probably doing the same thing. That's going to allow the 11 to get door to door with the 30 as they're coming up on a slow car here. I believe that is a 3 of Paul Servant about to go another lap down or 1 lap down. Is that the 3? Yeah, no, he's going to go another lap down, but pack's moving fast, probably going to hop out of the way and let these guys go at it. But wonder if people are starting to see what moves they can make. We're within 5 to go. It'll be 4 to go this time by, and the gloves are about to come off. The 30 is doing an excellent job of kind of keeping the 4 by himself, so he really has whatever lane choice he wants, KR, as they're coming to 4 to go this time by.
Paul Servant in the 3, getting ready to go another lap down. He's now 3 laps down. Good news for him is he's got 2 wins in his pocket. The only driver locked into the championship here. As he goes to the high side, he gets out of the way, lets everyone motor right on by down low. But the 4 of Chris Akers would love to pick up his first win of the night here. The 30 of Donald Bennett, I'm not going to say that I'm partial, but he does have the Turn 3 Racing Network all over that car. And if we could get that one in victory lane, what a good night that would be. But Roy Grandy, he's saying, hold on, guys. I want to win one, too. Here we go now as they head to the trial. 3 laps to go. Big Wiggles, the 65 of Jason Graves, getting out of line here. How's this going to play out? Can he squeeze back in? Is anyone going to go to the high side with him? Well, how about Jason Kinzer in the 011?
Yeah, they're going to go to the outside. He has a little bit of damage, but you can see him kind of pinching down, not going to allow DJ to get a run out of the turn and carry that momentum and speed out of the turn. And KR, I wonder if you're going to see somebody try to hop up in front of them, because they are going forward and not backwards. So I'm assuming that the guys that are, you know, the 82 and 04 are kind of hot and they're kind of airing out their cars, not pushing as hard. But, you know, they're going to have a person by the name of Mark Mann coming up to the bumper of Jason Kinzer here. It looks like the 9 just hit pit road. Going 1 lap down there. But KR, we are 3 wide, coming to 2 to go this time by. And They're kind of falling apart. The 4 is looking excellent. Has a great lead on the outside line. The 30 is just kind of got whatever choice he wants. I'm assuming we're gonna see the 30 kind of probably go wherever the move is, KR, as we're coming to the white flag this time by, and I can't even. I'm shaking right now because I'm so excited.
White flag in the hands of the flagman. Will he unfurl it before the caution as they head to the trioval? Chris Akers in the 4, gonna take the white flag. Final lap here at Daytona. Donald Bennett in the 30, now on his back bumper. And now is the time when you want to have that pushing engine. You do not want to back off at all. Hopefully you got that cool air to it before you got to this lap, because now is the time to go for broke. As they head down the backstretch, Roy Grandy with a big wiggle, gathers it back in. Harrington in the 82 trying to push on him. Harrington's going to get muscled out of place as Jason Kinzer going to make it 3 wide. Harrington's going to get turned. Paul Servant involved, and the front is going to see Peter Bailey, DJ Mitchell, and now it is a drag race to the lead. Donald Bennett in the 30 machine is going to pick up the win here tonight.
Wow. The 30 coming from a lap down to get the win.
And I think that the 4 Chris Akers ran out of fuel coming to the checkered.
Jeez. Wasn't the 30 one of the ones that went to pit road on 1 degree?
I believe so.
Man. Oh man. Is the 30 out of fuel now too?
A lot of drivers could be out of fuel, and I guarantee you that 4 of Chris Akers ran out of fuel. But man, oh man, Donald Bennett picks up the win. Chris Akers finishing in 2nd, and Danny Valenzuela finishing 3rd here in this one.
Yeah, the 30's out of fuel.
Finish.
He had just enough. Oh man. What a finish. For the past couple of weeks, we've seen the person that takes the white flag as the leaders is not win the race, and that's staying the same. And I hate to be the person who's leading the last lap, but what a finish for the 30 team. Having turn 3 all over that car, and he's gonna get it back to the finish line to get some nice pictures in front of that Daytona logo. That'll be a nice little picture there, KR.
Well, as the 30 makes it around, guys, we're going to step away from the microphones. We're going to set up our post-race show. No one go anywhere. We'll be back to talk to our podium finishing drivers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are ready to roll in to our post-race show here tonight, as we are going to kick it off with our race winner, and that is none other than the 30 of Mr. Donald Bennett. You pick up your first win of the season, Donald, and you did it by having just enough fuel to make it to that start-finish line.
I did. This is my first win on Sunday night, so I am extremely, extremely happy. To be honest with you, I was pushing Chris, seeing how things were going. I would come out of the corners, and the outside line seemed to drop back, and my thought was, if they left the door open, I was going to shoot high and try to go around Chris, and as we were coming out of 4, he ran out of gas, so
Well, that 30 machine picks up the win here tonight. Now we got to ask the question, with just a handful of races left in the regular season, you going to be able to use this win to propel you into playoff contention?
That's always the goal, KR. So I come out here every Sunday night and give it my all, and sometimes we get lucky and sometimes we don't.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the race win. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Oh, come on, KR. You're gonna make it that easy? Of course I do. I want to thank Turn 3, as always, sponsor my car. You guys being always up in the booth doing an incredible job. I want to thank Roger for always helping me and pushing me and getting to me to where I am in iRacing. Um, it's something I've wanted to do. It's come out here on a Sunday night and win, and I finally did it. I want to thank Pad. I want to thank the admins over here, and I want to thank Chris Akers. We're working together there, and I thought it would be a really good finish, and then he ran out of gas. It was still a good finish, but I thought he was gonna give me a fight. So I want to thank him, and again, Turn 3. So.
All right, that is your race winner, Donald Bennett, getting it done, man. And Mr. Bennett, once again, congratulations.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, now we move on to our second place finisher, and that is going to be Travis Elliott catching up with him.
Chris Akers, man, heartbreak coming out of 4, and watching you come back down from a lap down, and you blew an engine coming out of turn 2. Just a hard fought night. How you feeling after that one, man? I know it must be tough, but P2 in a series where points really matter. You can't really be too mad at that result.
No, not after the weeks I've been having. Going 2 laps down last week and fought my way back to get a 7th or 8th, and then this week only 1 lap down, popped that motor, really hurt me. Fought all the way to the finish right there. Come to the last lap, had 0.9 in the tank, and I was like, oh, I ain't gonna make it. Somebody else is gonna get this win, but I was surprised to watch them guys wreck behind us and get a 2nd for the night. First and foremost, man, congrats to Bennett for doing that. He's in the right place at the right time. Couldn't no better guy to deserve a win like him. So, congrats to him.
Yeah, watching from the spotter stand, I saw about 2 or 3 moments where I thought he was going to jump up in front of that outside line, and like he said, he was just waiting for it to happen, and he was in the right place at the right time. The super speedway gods sprinkled a little bit of extra luck on him tonight, but you guys at Candy Shack really ran great tonight. You always run great. Coming down to the closing races of the season, is it going to be a really big priority for you guys to try to get as many points as you can, or try to get somebody locked in by hunkering down the whole team and trying to get somebody 2 wins?
Man, we're gonna try to get the other 3, Dana and Paul and Holloway, another win, so we can get one of them locked in. But man, I'm sitting 18th in points. I really need a daggone win on this team. I'm slacking. They're gonna kick me out by the end of the year.
I think you just gotta start telling them to push him, man. You just gotta be ruthless with it.
Now we by the end of this season, everything's working out. Each week I see I'm getting better and better. I'm learning new things again. Having to relearn this. Don't race but 1 night a week anyway. So we're getting there. We're 2nd this week. Maybe next week or 2 weeks from now we'll pull off a 1st.
Anything's possible, man, and I won't be surprised to see you and the rest of your boys up front leading this race. You want to give any shout outs, thank yous? Love to the people on
shout out to
YouTube.
Bennett for winning that race. That was a good job, buddy. Good job of saving fuel there. Did a lot better than I did. And then I want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Enjoy watching it every week. And then the guys here at NSRA for putting it together. And of course, I got to thank the teammates. Without them, man, we wouldn't be up front every week, running up front every week, leading laps like crazy. Dana, Paul, and Holloway, best guys to work with on here, and couldn't say enough about them.
Great job tonight, man. Good luck in the next couple races. Definitely be keeping an eye on you. Always keep an eye on you guys at the Candy Shack team, and look forward to watching the rest of this regular season play out.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, that was Chris Akers, our second place finisher. And now we move on to our second driver from Bohica Motorsports, or I'm sorry, Bohica Esports. And that is none other than Danny Valenzuela, finishing in third place here tonight. Danny, congratulations on that one. And man, what a ride you had out here tonight as well.
Oh yeah, it was real exciting there right at the end. I thought I was in Days of Thunder, watching everybody split out of the way and all that. A few laps before that, we'd been running right towards the front, and everything was just getting crazy. Took a gamble, went ahead and dropped back a little bit, and it paid off. So excited to be here.
Well, finishing in third place here tonight, and it seemed like every driver who is on our podium here at one point was involved in a yellow or spin or blown motor or whatnot. So tell us what your experience was here tonight at Daytona.
For me, just like always, I have a hard time getting in and out of pit lane. So luckily, no speeding penalties, any of that kind of stuff going on. But that green flag stop, I definitely dropped off the back and thought the night was over for me. So lucky with a couple cautions coming out when they did, made it possible to be here tonight.
Man, that Raise Energy getting you into third spot here tonight. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, of course. Got to thank Raise Energy, making sure we got the umph to get things going here through the night. Draft Top, making sure that there's no top on that can, so we can drink topless every time we're out here on track. And Bromley Designs, making sure this Toyota Camry looking good out here for the NSRA series. Of course, thank you to Turn 3, making sure that all the action's getting out there to everybody.
All right, Danny, and once again, man, congratulations on third place here.
Thank you.
That is your final podium finisher, Danny Valenzuela, getting it done. And boy, Travis, ain't nothing left in this one but to go through the results. But I don't even know if I got enough in me to do that.
I gotta say one thing. I just realized this. I didn't realize that Danny was like P18 when that wreck happened.
Yeah, he came from deep in the field when that white flag came out to finish on the podium. But hey, that is super speedway racing to a T. As we look at our race results here tonight, Donald Bennett, your race winner. Chris Akers finishing in second. Third place going to Danny Valenzuela. Fourth, Sean Stevens. Jason Graham's gonna round out your top five.
Mark Mann coming home in sixth place. Les Levy in seventh. Dan Harrington coming home in eighth, J.R. Johnson in ninth, and the 21 of Daniel Holloway rounding out the top 10.
Todd Poston finishing 11th. 12th goes to Peter Bailey. Roy Grandy finishing in 13th. Jason Kinzer 14th. And 15th going to be Dana Osborne in the 88 machine.
Jimmy Reynolds coming home in 16th place, followed by the 9 of Michael Cohen 17th. J.D. Crow in 18th place. DJ Mitzel. Looks like he had another bad week this week. Hopefully he turns around next week, but he's going to come home in 19th with the 3 of Paul Servant rounding out the top 20.
21st goes to Stephen Herman, Hunter Reynolds 22nd, and the drivers who did not start here tonight, that is David Anderson and Russell Hancock finishing 23rd and 24th. So guys, that is going to wrap it up for us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. I have been your host for tonight. My name has been K.R. Stolfus. It might change next week. You never know. Speaking of next week, we're going to be off for the Columbus Day holiday. And Travis Elliott, man, I'm going to let you sign us out.
I want to say thank you to Turn 3 for letting me be in the booth and having a blast. And, hope everybody has a great week. Stay safe. And, watch some super speedway racing. Have some fun. Good night, everybody.